So, Thomas, we'll go through the questions that I've designed for you. Yeah. So, why can you share with our community? Why did you start your sake business, Thomas?
So, well, I got into sake during my uni days through the love of Japanese culture and food, and I liked sake back then, but I never expected to go into grow into a business. So I did a sake course out of interest back in 2015, and then I worked in Japan as a chef during 2018 to 2020. So I realized that there was so much sake that was still not in Australia, and some of them I like. So I went to the sake brewery, talked to them, and that's where I am now.
Fantastic. Hi, Kari. Thanks for watching. So I take it, Thomas, would that be right to say? So I guess when you were staying in Japan and when you worked for 4 years ago, you found some sakes that you really appealed to you. And you were also thinking, if I go back to Australia, what would you do, right? So is that the idea of how you probably started to think about being into sake importing? Is that how it came about?
Yes, pretty much. I didn't really wanted to start a sake business, but after I thought about it and think, I think the Australian market, the Australian people, might want to try some of the sake that I really liked, and the sake, and to spread what I like about sake as well. So yeah, that's when I thought that maybe let's do it and see how it goes.
And also, I think it's like you did enjoy, some of the sakes, and you wanted it for yourself to appreciate back at home. That would be another aspect as well. Yep, understand. It's like, you want that sake, you want to own it as well, and you want to have access to it, because there was no access with certain sakes. These sakes you couldn't access in Australia that time. Is that correct?
Yes, they're not in Australia at all. So
Yep, great. Thank you, Kari. So next question, how long did you have this idea about to start the business, and what actions did you take to prepare for it to make happen, Thomas?
So kind of probably in the middle of my stay in Japan, so like around 2019, I was thinking, let's start something, because they didn't seem to be, even though there's still a lot of sake brands in Australia, but there didn't seem to be like that many good ones, or the ones that appeals to the Australian customer, because they were mainly just the big Japanese importers and stuff like that. So I started researching it, went through every single website that was in Australia that sells sake, and note down what brands they had and stuff like that, and then kind of decide maybe the ones I like, or the ones I know about that were not in Australia, maybe there's a chance for them to shine in Australia as well. So that's when I decided to, get into action and start everything. Planning wise, it took more than maybe a year just to get everything ready. So to register the business and do everything in the Australian side while I was in Japan. And then because since I was in Japan already, I would just kind of pick out the breweries and go and visit them straight away and kind of talk to them about it. So kind of just getting everything set up before I come back to Australia so I can start straight away.
Well, that's a great plan work, and I guess it also started the fact you saw a gap in the Australian sake market, right? How we haven't got that connection with Japanese sake, Australia and Japan, right? And the fact that I think the extra confidence came with the fact that when you were in Japan already and you saw something of interest and you were able to communicate and make a relationship with the breweries, that gave you confidence that you feel like you could set up in Australia quite easily. Would that be safe to say that correct, Thomas?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, so how long, Thomas, have you been in business before you actually started working with me in the Sake Mastery Academy?
So I started back in June 21. So the business is just mainly myself, and I pretty much manage everything from the sales to delivery and invoicing and bookkeeping and anything else to keep the business running. So I met you kind of a year later.
Oh, okay, that's pretty short. So you
So
actually
we just really started.
So I was safe to say, so when you just started to grasp into your business establishment, then you came and find me. Is that about right to say?
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Every week, as you've been telling me how busy you were, right? You were also working in a restaurant that kind of also made you even more busier because that was a day job, right?
Yep.
But nobody was physically helping you out. So when it came to clients, to your clients, you cared. You want to care for your clients, right? But it put more pressure on you because you didn't want to make them unhappy as well. So physically you were tired, mentally you were tired, but you still got that vision of helping your your customers to assist them with what they needed, right?
Yeah.
Being that one-man show.
Yep.
And owning it. Great. So Thomas, let's go into the fact of how we started, right? What were you struggling with prior to starting with my program?
So I feel that I was a bit lost, like finding the right approach to kind of handle different types of customer, because I didn't have any sales experience before. So that was the main thing, and I wanted some guidance on how to kind of do it in a more efficient way.
Yes. So as you first started, you actually had a good start. You already had clients, potential clients all set up, but I don't think they were actually converted yet to have created a relationship with your range, right? So it's from what when you started, it felt to me you didn't understand what it meant when they purchased your product and whether there was actually them in the future restocking your products. So you probably have this customer, wanted to purchase your product, but you didn't see if there was a future. Would that be right to say?
Like I wanted to kind of make a more connection with them. So
Yes.
rather than just one off, like didn't really want to be one off, because I know that we need to have more repeat customers, and by keeping them happy, they will willing to reorder and stuff. So yes, we wanted to kind of keep the relationship going and want to know what's the best way to do it.
Yes. Well, that's really important in, future businesses in many ways, isn't it? The fact that you have to, want to create a client and they you want to keep on working with them and they want to keep on working with you. Then in order for them to keep on restocking your range and reordering from you, and then keeps the business flowing, right? Great. Thanks for sharing that, Thomas. So, Thomas, what made you take action and invest in the Sake Mastery Academy?
So, well, I wanted to figure out the best way to do it myself, but I didn't have a lot of time to test it out on the different customer. And that's the reason why I considered doing the Sake Mastery, because you know a lot more and you have a lot more experience in the way to deal with customers and so on. So I thought, why not just kind of find someone that is more experienced, and then we can kind of work out how is the best approach and save some time as well, because I can't wait to trial and error everything and get out from there.
It is pretty much about that time, right? But I think it's the time that you don't want to waste making the results happen because you didn't know how to approach, how to do, and what was the situation at that time. You didn't want to be stuck in time, the fact that, okay, just because it didn't work out, you just stopped because of a scenario. You just stopped because somebody said no to you, that sort of feel as well, right? Is that the reason why you said you had no time to test, or is it more for the fact that you said you feel that you don't want to waste time? That is why you wanted to take on the Psycho Mastery Academy.
Like, I don't want to waste time, like, because maybe if I stuff up, then you might not get the customer back again. So you lose it. And then while you lose, you learn how to do it better next time. But if it still doesn't become better, you end up like losing out on a lot of things, and it kind of becomes a negative impact on the business itself. So that's why it takes that time for you to understand what happened. And then if it never works out, then you just kind of wasting more time trying to figure out. So that's why I spoke to you about it and kind of got into the course to just straight away work out what's the best way and just apply it and see how it goes. And if it works, then we stick to it. And so it's a bit less risky for me as well, because otherwise I will be kind of slowly walking through and trying to work out what mistake not to make.
It does make a difference with that sort of understanding. I mean, like, people say I don't want to waste time, but it's more to do with that, right? It's like you see an opportunity, but you don't want that opportunity to be like totally wasted, right? But the thing is, we understand that when you fail and experience with no experience, you learn from it. But like you said, you don't want to, how many times you're going to keep on doing that same failure, that same mistake? What are you able to achieve from that in a short amount of time, considering the fact the purpose is to move your stock, right? And I guess your expectation was that of the fact of, because I'm into, knowing about the Australian market, and I do with customers every day. This practice alone has become second nature to me. And I get different things from the customers every week. I get different types of customers, in many forms and sizes, which is, you want that type of forms and sizes. What type of customers are coming in different forms and sizes? And I've used those data from customers' experience to actually recommend the right sake for the customers, which is able to convert, and which is what you're trying to gain is conversion with your sake range, to make sure customers buy from you, that you feel like you understand why they bought it, and you feel like, you didn't waste your time to get them to buy from you, and you feel more achieved. Would that sound right, Thomas?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What are some of the biggest takeaways and transformations you experienced within the Sake Mastery Academy?
So one of the biggest is kind of getting an in-depth understanding of the market itself and the customer. So, figuring out where I stand in that market as well. And also it was good to have, general guidance on how to deal with them and what works best. Yes,
it is actually, you can tell, right, when we did the program, right, especially for the sake hierarchy, how much easier everything was once you knew where you stand in the sake energy, right? So, and we could overcome the problems in that week, right? You came every week. I always ask you, how's your week, right? How's your week when you're dealing with your customers? Because that state of mind, right? We get a problem every day. We get a problem in that week. And what we do, we ponder over it. Why this problem is there? How can we solve it, right? And normally we seek for, ways to actually, find these solutions, right? To find the answers. And when we can't find it, we're stuck, we're annoyed, we're frustrated, we're upset, right? So that problem every week when I ask you, what's going on in the week, even though we don't talk about the program straight away, we talk about the fact of what you're doing in your business every day of the week, what you're doing at the restaurant, is just seeing what is your mindset of what you're dealing with and if there is a problem there. Because I know for a fact that every day I've got a problem. I know why that problem is there and I need it to be solved and, change that mindset. So had that helped you, Thomas, to be able to do that with me every week?
Yes, definitely the kind of the support, the one-on-one support and over the every week, it's been great help because I get to get a solution straight away as well. And so no one is waiting. Like if I have a customer that I need to sort of know how to approach, I don't have to wait for a week or two to kind of like find the right approach for them. So I can just kind of talk to you about it and then we kind of work out together a approach that best fits them. Then I can just talk to them the day after or something. So it's kind of like there's not much gap in between the communications and stuff. So it's really helpful for that.
Isn't it great? And sometimes opportunities, you bite them when it's there, it's hot, right? Because opportunities don't always stay there for long, right? So if you see an opportunity, you grab it, you see what you can tackle with it, you don't waste time. And if it is a yes or no, we move on, right? And you go into another opportunity, but we don't use our energy on something that doesn't work, right? Because we understand why it doesn't work, right? All right. Thank you, Thomas, for sharing that. In terms of the program format, how would you describe its effectiveness?
So the program is broken down into topics every week, and we kind of focus on that. And they can be, you can move around based on the priority of what you want to know or learn the most. Then it's kind of, you can change it so we can move one week earlier. So if I was dealing with different customer or I'm having a event or something, so we can move that around to kind of focus on the topics that we really want to achieve. And the information and the topics are short, but it is kind of on point. So, and it's very easy to manage as well. So everything is kind of short and precise.
Thank you, Thomas, for sharing that. I'm so glad you feel that this course has been very beneficial and manageable for your busy lifestyle. You were able to get the effectiveness out of it and apply it to your business straight away. And the thing is, what you were saying, how is it flexible in the topics? It was, because I would see when we talk about sharing within your week and all that, I'll see where it would be useful to bring in a certain like edging of the topic, even though you haven't started it. We can still briefly, touch on that to at least leverage your understanding to help you make your to find a solution on what you were dealing with at that week, with that certain customer, to be able to apply it straight away and get the most effectiveness out of that. So thank you, Thomas, for sharing that. All right, so Thomas, can you share your experience with the one-on-one coaching style with me? How has it helped you in your business compared to just doing the program content?
So that's a very personalized online coaching session. So, and I can use my own experience or what I've encountered for a particular week, and then we can discuss it one-on-one, and we can link it back to the topics as well. And also, as mentioned before, we can kind of have a solution for something which just happened during the week, or if I'm stuck, then we can discuss it and get feedback right away. So it's kind of very handy to have that one-on-one coaching style.
Thank you, Thomas, for sharing. Well, as you know, my biggest crime is I can talk. I have a lot of things I can share from experience, which is, sometimes I feel like, am I boring you with all my topics? But actually, you're actually listening to everything. It has allowed us to really go in deep with every situation, right? And you are facing everywhere. And I like to really get to understand what you've been facing, because I don't know. You have to tell me, right? No, so no matter it was small or big, it helped me as a coach to you visualize how your week has been, right? And how you were able to be feeling, what you'll be facing, paint that picture in my mind in order to assist you where you needed to tackle your problem and seeing what you can see. Because you were going through a probably emotional state where I'm going through the other, different point of view. That different point of view has helped you to get rid of, the emotional clouded judgment to see what you're not seeing. And that's probably why it has helped you solve your problems much more quickly as you realized, right?
Yeah.
All right, Thomas, so what results did you receive that you did not expect? Can you share your experience, Thomas?
So other than discussing about the sake and the markets and stuff like that, we also went through some personal development training, which I didn't expect. But that really helped me get through like a busy week, kind of to have enough energy and thinking positive and developing the right mindset to handle any challenges that will come up as well. So that is very good that I did that, but I didn't expect that.
It is definitely not what most businesses think that is important as well. When you look into your business, the problem alone is not just the business. It is, we have to look into ourselves as well. What is our state of mind throughout that business? Because business cannot thrive alone. And I remember when we first started, we didn't talk anything about sake yet. We wanted to make sure that your mindset and your physically, mentally, and everything was also aligned with it, right? And I remember how lack of energy you had, and your energy mindset and the negativity you had about yourself was that biggest hurdle that we needed to shift to enable you to see what you can actually do within your business. Only probably just briefly, but how has that changed? I remember that second week we went through a breakthrough with you. Why did you feel that positivity and the negativity and the energy was important for that aspect for yourself?
Because mainly as this was a kind of a side business or something from my passion. So I work full time, so pretty much like 5 days a week. And then that only leaves me like when I'm off like 2 days to do things like in regards to delivery, like pretty much managing everything about the sake business within that 2 days. So it's kind of taking a drain from myself. And energy wise, if working full time as a chef, like sometimes can be very tiring. So then I just kind of don't feel like myself. And having gone through that personal development training and stuff, kind of working out how to have more energy or through like positive thinking and having the right mindset, that really helped to turn things around and kind of make me feel like even though I'm tired, like I still feel like I can do something as well.
Yes. Tired is an understatement. We can tell you we're tired, but why we tired, why we thinking we're tired is because we put up the mindset of we are tired in our brain, right? But if you think about our bodies keep on going, right? And you literally, able to see your results with that, right? You did the Good Inferno wine show. You tell me you were tired, but you kept on going. You kept on receiving. Your tired feeling of, was not in your dictionary or your vocabulary anymore. You were tired, but you felt good. Nobody feels that they are tired and they say they are good. If you can feel that they're tired is good. Sorry, camera just disappeared. So if you feel that your tired is all about, the fact that you're just feeling, it's a mindset thing, then why are we not feeling we've got enough energy on that, right? So you just keep on going and you just achieve what you want to achieve without feeling that that's a barrier to you. Because when I saw that, I think it was also the imbalance of negativity of you had yourself, the confidence you had in yourself as well. And that affected with the fact of your mindset of thinking, I'm tired, I can't do it, it's too much. Too much is also was another thing that we kind of like change your mindset, because it also included the fact that, can you manage it? Are you able to manage it? And that's how you were able to do everything, even though you had 2 days off just to do all of that, as where we got priority involved and organized as well. So like self-love, positive, healthy mindset with a strong energy is not closely looked upon in business, as you know. And this is where most business owners like tend to burn out because of that. And I remember what you said about your customer. They said to you, you look tired, and that alarmed you, and that didn't make you want to feel that way, right?
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Thomas. So next one, could you please describe yourself, how you were before the program and who you are now?
So before, when I started, like, I do have an idea of what I was doing, like how to deal with customers and stuff, but I wasn't very confident in doing it, and I was a bit lost and overwhelmed in terms of, you know, the sales and trying to keep the customer happy, as well as taking care of them properly. So, but now I have a clearer goals and know exactly what customer I should be spending the time on and how to take the extra step to help them, to make them, to keep them happy as well. So
yes, definitely we could see it was a start to see how you were recognized by your clients, how your clients were actually acknowledging you when they respect you as an expert, right? That you are. You can confidently, you were actually, you know, changing to the fact you can confidently demonstrate your skill and knowledge to educate your customers without feeling it's hard work, right?
Yep.
All right. So Thomas, describe your role in the Sake hierarchy now and how you are showing up in your business now.
So the hierarchy, like, I sort of know where I am in the hierarchy, but it was only after doing the sake mastery, along with the personal experience during the course, which now make my role very clear, and I know exactly where I am. And now I understand what my responsibility are and what I have to focus on to continue in the future.
Right. The Sake hierarchy module connects everything, right? Didn't it? It makes a difference on knowing where you stand instead of just going through it blindly, thinking you are just a bystander. In the hierarchy, it allows you to also really clearly see how you can assist the other sectors, right? And to identify the power that you have. So Thomas, I realized that after you did the Sake hierarchy, you know, I witnessed how you quickly transformed and zoned into everything, right? You didn't stumble, you didn't procrastinate, you just understand why you were important, right? So I saw that transformation into you. All right, Thomas, so lastly, can you share a few inspiration words on how the Sake Mastery Program can help the sake industry and why?
So it is important to know what your purpose and vision is, but if you want to be truly part of the sake industry and to show your passion for sake, it is only once you find your purpose and your passion that can definitely reach others in a positive way. So in doing the program, it allows me to kind of show that passion for sake, and in doing so, that helped me reach the customer in a positive way. So then that in turns allow the customer or the or your clients to kind of want to seek more knowledge and appreciate this more about sake as well.
Isn't that the reason, right? I mean, the vision of this is actually not spreading too much as well, and we are spreading more knowledge and sharing the passion with sake, reaching others to appreciate sake more, because there must be a need for that knowledge, right? And if we want to shape the world and make a difference, we need to align it with our purpose as sake professionals, and how we're going to make that happen. And if you want to have your vision to come alive, and I feel like we're going to get more sake lovers going to appreciate the sake world more and want to know about sake even more by doing it this way. Thank you, Thomas, for sharing that. All right, Thomas, so please share with the audience your mission statement of your company, please.
So it's fairly simple, want to keep it fairly simple. So I just really want to make sake very easy to understand and enjoy, and while also showcasing the quality of the sake brewed locally as well, using all local ingredients and sharing the brewery's traditions and the story with everyone in Australia. So that's pretty much my aim for bringing all the sake into Australia and kind of showcasing what the brewers wanted to achieve or their stories.
You are the representative of the breweries from Japan, and you're bringing that to Australia, right? Showcasing what makes them so special, what is their locality, right? And why you love their range. That's another thing you want to, showcase as well. Thank you, Thomas, for sharing that beautiful mission statement of your company. All right, Thomas, so what do you, please share with the audience, right? What do you plan for Christmas and maybe for 2023? Can you share?
For Christmas, I'll be mainly focusing on improving my back end. So like I got some new product that came in. So I need to update the catalog and then update all the tasting note, improving the website as well, and pretty much all the stuff that I didn't have time to do during the normal weeks. So
Yeah.
Christmas is kind of like a good not rest, but like a good head start for 2023, pretty much getting everything ready for the next year. And I think 2023 will be a busy year as well, I hope. And I can use all the things I've learned in the Sake Mastery program and put it into good use as well. So there will be a lot of events, new products, and maybe a few more surprises. So, keep an eye out for it on our.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah.
All right, Tom. Since we forgot to mention that you were talking about events. Now, did you actually do any events this year?
Yeah, events. We did quite a bit of events. Big ones. We did big shows like Good Food and Wine and the Sake Festival in Sydney as well. And we also do a few restaurant tasting events as well. We did quite a number of those as well during the year, and pretty much showcasing the sake and the food pairing as well, and to promote our product or the locality of our sake to everyone in Australia.
Are you able to share with me, share with the audience your recent sake and food pairing, and why was that one so important to you?
So the very recent one we did was a sake pairing dinner where I work. So we kind of it is not a Japanese restaurant, and what my vision is that sake is not only good just with Japanese food. So sake should be like wine. You can pretty much pair it with anything you eat or anything you want to eat as well, like wine. So it was a good thing to showcase what I can do as a chef as well, and what I can do to kind of pair with the sake that I import into Australia as well. So we did a Cantonese. So I work in a Cantonese, like a Chinese restaurant, and we picked the sake and we just kind of pick all the food that goes with it. And yeah, it was quite interesting. I think the customer found quite interesting as well, because the clientele usually don't have sake. They mainly have wine, and then they're kind of give them some new perspective of what sake is. Like, we didn't really focus on all the teaching them about sake. It was just, that event was purely about food and sake. So you don't need to know anything about sake. You just have to appreciate it when you have the food to see that, oh, it works well together, and maybe next time when I'm at home or when I'm cooking something, maybe I can try sake and sell wine. So that is something that I wanted to show to everyone here in Australia as well. So not really just about making them learn how sake is made, but more importantly, they have to taste it as well.
I mean, your vision came alive, right? How you were able to incorporate the sake pairing with the non-Japanese experience, right? And also bring it back to home as well, because of your culture as well. It is close to your heart. Could you also share with us, Thomas, what was the results that you had from this event in terms of numbers? And, also who was involved in that event to actually also make this event as as successful as you had made it to be?
So we have close to 50 people. So the maximum was 50. So we had 48, which is quite a big event. So pretty much we just we just took the whole restaurant and just close it off for the night just to have the event. And we also have in order to kind of connect everyone in the hierarchy as well. So we had the restaurant, and then we have a liquor store as well that helped us sell the sake, or the liquor store which sell my sake, which is one of my clients. I got him to come and help me to explain about the sake. Me, myself, just focus on, as I'm the kind of the main importer or distributor for the sake, I just kind of help support both of them. So in the background. So it's kind of really for them to kind of see as well that how the sake can put everyone together, whether it's the liquor store and the restaurant and the distributor themselves. So kind of working all together to kind of benefit of each other, and for overall for the sake as well. So I bring in the sake, and then I give the liquor store and the restaurant all the information, as well as plan all the pairings and stuff like that. So the restaurant and the liquor store have their own client base that they joined to enjoy the sake dinner, and the liquor store also had a chance to kind of sell the sake at the end, and also they get to know what type of customer will buy the sake. So for their own shop as well, they kind of know what's good for them as well, as well as like what sake they can choose to stock in the future. So I think overall it was a good experience for all three different parties, and I think we kind of worked pretty well together. So we're looking forward to kind of have more events later on.
Isn't that great? I mean, how everything is a win-win situation. The liquor store is winning, the restaurant is winning, you are winning, right? And also everybody can see how your range is winning through what type of customers as well. And, you know, everybody can see how popular sake is in that limelight as well. And you can get a lot of data, which every sector needs data to actually understand how their product is going to be performing, how the sake range is responding to a definitely new market. So I think that has been a fantastic experience for you and for how you were able to see how all the sectors of the sake hierarchy was able to, serve you, and also they can see that how you serve them, isn't it? All right, Thomas, thank you so much. I'm so excited. I can't wait for your, news about 2023 or what you're going to do. Thank you, Thomas, really, for taking the time for sharing your lovely experience with the Sake Mastery Academy. It's been such a great pleasure to work with you, and I'm definitely going to miss you with our lovely, weekly catch-up calls. I miss our meetings every morning. I'm always happy to see you. And I'm so glad that the Sake Mastery Academy has actually served your sake well. And I have loved, getting to know your products, and I have purchased them on behalf of that as well, because I trust in your range and I love your stories behind it. And I definitely want them in my sake collection as well. To be able to showcase the love that you hold desire to my customers as well, to see how they respond to your range. So Thomas, if there is any restaurants or other liquor stores for new business interested to get in contact with you, how best should they contact you?
The best way is go to our website, which is just sakelier.com.au, and then can send us an email. So even on Instagram, you can just kind of DM us, or Facebook as well. You can message me, or on the website, you can leave us a message. So mainly, leave us a message, and we'll definitely get back to you. And thank you, Sandra, as well. Thank you for everyone's time, and it was a really good experience. And hopefully, I can use what I've learned over the past 12 weeks, I think 12 weeks, and I put it to good use. And definitely it's an interesting experience for me as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Really a pleasure to work with you again. And I'm glad you got so much benefit from my Sake Mastery to help your business. So sake business owners in the sake industry, if you're a restaurant or liquor store in Australia and want to get into possession of Thomas's range, please comment on like here, I want Sakelier, and Thomas will also give you a DM to discuss how to move forward. Thomas, again, such a pleasure to have you here, and I wish you luck for 2023, and contact me if you have any troubles regardless what as well. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much, Sandra. I'll see you soon. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for watching, guys.
Thank you, everyone, for watching. Hope you love our live interesting guest series. Thank you. All right, that was great. I did put in other extra questions because we were elaborating that, but you did well.
Yep.
Okay, so I am looking forward to a lot of your events next year. So definitely going to share that sort of thing. Okay.
So next year, right?
Yes.
March. Well, I wrote it down somewhere.
So March. Let me.
In March, right?
Yeah, because I just talked to my father, I had a big in-depth conversation. I think I should do something. So I'm going to be away from like mid-February to early March. So that March festival is going to be 25th.
Would it be at the more 25th. At the end?
Yeah, 25th.
Okay, good. Because I'm planning to go to Japan around the same time as well, like maybe end of February, early March.
Yeah, so about the same time, yeah.
Well,
so my plan is to at least hold a restaurant event for you and a liquor store event for you. So I'm deciding of how, because it's going to be the festival. So I'm trying to incorporate other people to make this event a little bit bigger. I'm thinking also a Kito, but I don't think he can come, but we'll see how it goes as well. So at this point, because of March, I wanted Akito as well because I've got his range as well, but he may not be there, but I haven't given him the suggestion yet. He might, who knows, right?
Because
So
also with Endo as well, he started like I think four or five different events now, like for
so it's be June.
So
June.
It's quite packed as well, like at the later dates, right? But it's like kind of Brisbane, Melbourne,
Canberra, Melbourne, yes.
Like full on.
He's losing the vibe that he had from this year. That's why. So that's another thing that he's also doing is he's losing the vibe from last year to ramp it up for this year. That's another thing. Also, no, it's March. I'm still deciding on how the event's going to be because I don't just want you coming. We're not just doing a store event for you. I'm doing it in the festival date, right? So I'm trying to incorporate maybe other people involved to make it a bigger because only just you and me is not big enough. I need to think of it as a festival. But worst case scenario would be still do you, but not do it in the festival day as such. I'll probably do a different day. And I want to do a restaurant event with my restaurant for your range. Yeah. We could probably do a repeat of the secret degustation of the range because we used most of your range anyways, but we'll see. Because the, what is it? The March time will be, let me see. I did write this down. Where is it?
And the sound bar should be earlier than March, right?
Yes, January.
Okay.
So the sound bar is, I would have included you, but it's like conflicting with the dates and all that sort of thing. So let's see. Sound bar, I'm trying to see if we can do it for Chinese New Year.
Okay. So
because I'm thinking we're not doing the December. The energy with the sound bar in December is just not in line with together. So I said to him, can we push it till January next year? Then he said saying, do you want early January or late January? I said, let's do late January. But now I was thinking, to do it exactly after Chinese New Year.
Okay.
Because early in the month of January, there's New Year's celebration, right? So people will already probably drain some money there already, right? So where do they want to spend Chinese New Year? Something special for an event, Chinese New Year, right? Chinese New Year next year is 22nd.
Yeah, there's also Australia Day right after it as well. So
so it has to be kind of in between, right? Before Australia Day.
It has to be before it for sure.
Yeah. So that's our strategies with events, right? You don't just do an event, just you an event, right? It doesn't matter that he can sell out, but I don't want the fact of the market being influenced by something, right? So Chinese New Year, after Chinese New Year, 23rd is where I would do this event or you said before Australia Day. So it has to be. It has to be those days in between. I can't do it before Chinese New Year because the guy's not there. So they're going to Japan as well, apparently. So I need the owner to be there so he can see this effect. Doesn't matter he say he got trusting staff. I want the owner to see this event because we want to repeat, right? And they're they're a bar in my district. I need at least one restaurant and one bar to support out my area. That way it feels like everything's feeding to the shop. Sort of thing. Everything's connected to the shop. So we help each other out. So I've got a restaurant, now I need the bar.
Restaurant is the one you did, right? The Nobu guy.
Yes. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I saw the video. It was very professional. Like
I raised it up.
expensive.
That's what we want. It looks expensive. That's what I want.
Okay.
Thomas.
I mean the everything, like the production, like
the production looks very expensive.
Yeah.
How much is it expensive to you?
I don't know. Like
if you do media,
at least a few grand, maybe.
Yes.
At least like 1,000 something for them to make the video and everything.
Yes. So I paid 18 grand for it.
Okay.
Only reason is I've invested that is because this has to be captured for the community, because not everybody knows what I do. They don't know what I am capable of. Now you saw that video, share your light, because you are also a consumer looking into events and all that sort of thing. You see that event, does it give you an aspect of excitement that you really wanted to be at that event?
Yes, it does.
Yes. So that was the idea. I mean, the customer testimonials, the last guy, he was brilliant. 10 out of 10. Love it. So that sort of like customer is showing you the trust of the people. They were not lying. Everybody felt that way.
Yep.
Right? Even those poker faces, I feel like they were not giving me any feeling at all, but they were all having a good time. Yeah. So that was like that sort of angle, because we're showcasing people who've never done this experience before. They had sake, but they don't have this degustation experience before. So they don't know what to expect. But the first group, which is the one you get the video for, I've been revving up. I always feel like, to tell the truth, the feeling was feel like maybe I'm being too ambitious, right? Or maybe I feel like maybe I'm doing too much, right? I think I'm telling my customer it's going to be a great event. I put my, the expectation is going to be a great event. Scared it might not be a great event, something like that, So that's that sort of fear as well. The customers expect you to give you great, right? Can you say great, fantastic? It's going to be a fantastic event. We're full of confidence or not? Are you there yet? Probably for you, not yet. But for me, I'm already there. Because I know what these customers expect. I know what they want. I know what they've already experienced already. So I believe on the chef. I have to believe in the chef. I cannot believe in the chef, it won't work. I have to believe in my sake. I have to believe in myself. I have to believe in my expertise. It's all levels of, belief, different levels of belief to get to the fact I can say that's going to be a fantastic event. Without a doubt. Even though I still feel like maybe I was a bit fearful because I haven't done it for 1 year, Thomas. I haven't done for 1 year, and I was still like feeling a bit disconnected. I was thinking, no, I prepared for this. I know my range. I know how the sake is going to be. I know about this. I know the chef. I know how the experience is going to be. I know how to work the clients. I know how the customer's going to flow in. Why won't it be great? Why we have everything we need. We have all our checklists. I know how to talk. I know what to talk. I know what they're going to be like. I can visualize what the customer is going to be. Why can't it be great? That sort of insight we can go. We go in deeper. Then you're fully confident in. You can see it. You can see the future. When you can see that future, you're already invincible and you magnify yourself already. Right. So that was the event, and I believe your experience with this with the rice den. That's going to be your future analysis for your next event of how it's going to be. But do you have anything you wanted to improve with that event, you think? Is there anything you wanted to improve?
For the execution of it, it was a bit, some of them were like, because, I wasn't the one saying anything. I wasn't the one.
Oh, you can't see it yourself whether it was true or not, right?
Like I can see them. Like I talked to a few people afterwards as well. But like,
don't worry about that.
I wasn't the person that's like bringing out all the stuff and things. So like, because my actual role is different than yours, because you will be the person that's talking about everything and stuff like that. For me, I was just kind of doing the back end of it and getting everything prepared, getting everything ready and stuff like that, and then giving that role to the liquor store person to do. And overall, it was fine. Like he, we didn't we had a mic and everything, but it didn't work in the last minute, so he had to talk. And being the big restaurant, like it's very hard to hear sometimes as well. So those stuff we can improve on, we know. And that's kind of pretty much it. And how we, the glasses and whatnot, like what we need to do to make it more smoother and stuff like that. That's pretty much it. But the overall things, I think it was done quite well, because everyone knew what they were doing, or everyone is into it. It's like not one, like the restaurant, the liquor store, and me, like we kind of know what we need to do, and we do it. Like not like one person is like, oh, I'm not sure, and like just that sort of vibe. And then like we try to make it so that it's, because we all know each other quite well. It's not just like, oh, it's the first time I'm working with you or something like that. So that's why it was like that's why it became like how it was. But I think sometimes I worked with a few people for where they were hosting it, but it kind of feels a bit disconnected and stuff like that.
You feel it, right?
I don't know them very well and stuff like that. And it's like something I don't want to do again or something.
Yes, isn't it? It does. You don't feel like you want to work with them.
Yeah,
like with these people, because you know them, they're excited.
Yes.
The restaurant is excited. So they want to work with you. That's why they will make it happen, right? If we're not feeling that way, we won't wait. The reason why my event was so successful, because my chef wants to work with me, right? He knows how to work with me. I know how to work with him. Do you know what happened? I'll tell you something happened on that night. Because I haven't tasted any of this food. I was just going with the fact of, the taste of the palate and all that. And I gave it to him, and we understand, I understand his flavors, and he understands how I'm doing with sake to make him understand how to comprehend. And then I did a lot of in-depth talking with your range of how to pair with it. Now, probably maybe not the most common one, because I couldn't taste it properly, was maybe okonakami, not good with oysters. I think we need maybe Rita would be better. Even the light Rita to kind of show, because people were saying they were disconnected to the oyster, but if the okonakami went through the uni, not with oyster, that was the only one. Scampi beautifully match. That Dai Rita go with the scampi is beautifully matched. What was the other one? Imanashiki goes beautifully with the crispy toro. Everybody find that was unique. And I loved the brightness of Iman and Ishiki. Chicken and Jumai actually was very well as well. Very well as well. And they were interested in the story behind it as well. So chicken is like the quiet daiginjo, right? You don't taste much of it when you're drinking it. But I found a uniqueness when I tasted chicken daiginjo before I bought it from you. Something was unique about it, not in food, but the way I was tasting it was something different. I couldn't describe it, but that's how it shined when it came with food. And the customers were telling me there's something unique about it, but they couldn't find out to describe it, right? But they saw it, that thing that I saw in your range, right? Of how deep we went into it. And when I saw it, it was definitely different to the range in my range. But chicken daiginjo, Juma daiginjo, is not those high premium daiginjos. They're pretty much, sorry about my camera, keep on going on and off. It's pretty much like the standard daiginjo, right? The standard daiginjo. So not saying it's a bad thing for you. I'm just saying this is where I rate your chicken daiginjo, right? That is why actually you didn't see me reorder chicken daiginjo in this order, because I was thinking I haven't resonated this taste with people in the shop yet to see where they are. And then I need more data on that. So I need time on that. But that's why I wanted to bring in the blue bottle, 3 bottles of that one, because I do like the look of it. I do find that the taste is enjoyable. I did the room temperature contrast. This week, I'm going to be doing the cold temperature contrast because I feel like I'm still not satisfied with that taste yet to find out how we're going to shine it. Even the Akito is one Bennett, but I believe the cold temperature is going to highlight them both. So I'm going to be doing it again. So do look into that. So overall, the sakes all matching.
Yeah. So with the oyster, was it, how smoky was the oil and stuff?
It wasn't, well, actually, I didn't taste the oil at all.
Okay.
Literally, when I picked it up, I felt that the uni was very, very soft, not salty as well. I was thinking that uni would be salty. So that's where I think the okonakami, richness would come in. But I think because we asked them to sip it before and then eat, I think would be eat it and then sip it.
And then sip. Okay. Yep.
But it was different in the way it was displayed, sort of thing. So never mind, it's okay. People did enjoy the sakes, but your okonakami did not shine with the food. Okonakami will shine by itself. But then again, maybe I would not choose oyster for okonakami. I find that maybe oysters are probably a risk with okonakami, right? Give it more, maybe tuna or fish or something, maybe grilled would be better for okonakami.
Originally I wasn't thinking raw oyster anyway because of the smoky oil and everything. I think it will work well, but if it was smoked oyster or something, that will work better.
No, fresh oyster. Fresh oyster.
But if it was a raw, the fresh ones, I never try pairing it with the raw ones, but if it was steamed or smoked cooked, or already cooked, then I think it will go better with the okonakami.
Okonakami needed savory, and what is it? Uni oyster, ikara, did not have anything salty.
Okay.
Funny as is, it had taste of the ocean, but it was a elegant ocean because uni was not very powerful ocean. It was actually a delicious ocean. Hence, you see that people were commenting on the ocean, and I was actually preaching on the words of ocean, and the okonakami was actually calm it down. But there were some of them that were quite, into oysters, so they were picking up this point, right? I'm not saying it was an unpleasant experience. It was just that something is missing there, right? They could pair it with the uni because it's creamy, because okonakami is creamy, but oyster is not creamy. It's more like a little bit of slippery, slimy sort of feel. It has to be much more smoother. It didn't need to be richer. It just needed to feel like we get rid of that sliminess, right? And then taste the oyster. But still, it was enjoyable. And luckily, it was only a small oyster, so it's not going to be overpowering. But people were very scared of oyster, most of them. And even one customer was saying to me, right, Sandra, I don't eat oyster. I said, are you allergic? He said, no. I think you should try. Because I tried that dish on that day, the oyster, small, and I said, I wanted more. By itself, without the sake, I was happy with that oyster. That was how delicious it was. Yeah, that's the standard of that.
Okay.
So in terms of if I wanted to make sales of that, which I didn't because I wanted to concentrate on the experience. And the fact is we were already 2.5 hours in. Make them stay longer after 10, they're a bit reluctant to. Oh, another thing I want to share. I didn't do full house for this event, right? It was 2 nights, not full house. But if there was no event there was no customers. That was how bad the restaurant situation was. We were literally taking up the whole restaurant just by a group alone, even though they didn't need to close the shop down. The reason why I didn't want him to go take close the night, because I didn't want him to rely on my income only from the event to help his business, because we've only got a small group. That would put too much pressure on him.
Was it 18 people, right?
First day, 16. Second day, 18.
So the whole restaurant is double that, or?
No, 30.
Okay.
Yeah. Last time I did No, he said 40 or 30. I can't remember. I think I did 30 last time.
Okay.
It was almost the whole restaurant.
Yep.
Yeah. And the thing is, it wasn't about filling up the restaurant. I was seeing the chef ability, manageability. I actually did not like the full house event style compared to my 18 and 16 event, because that's what we used to work with. Reason being is the chef's ability, manageability was not balanced.
So they can focus more on the. So you mean the full house was better or not better?
Not better.
Okay.
Strange, isn't it? Very strange. It wasn't better. The timing of the food was harder. We only did it one time, but I've worked with the chef Synergy for a long time.
But
so
he
I know
only had one himself, or
no, he had other people. So he had other people. He still had other people last time, but why? It doesn't make sense to me. Why wasn't it as better as the 18 or 20 people?
Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
So I followed my gut, right? To not go more, I go less in quality, right? So food came up on time. He was literally coming out with the food himself because we were actually taking time. The timing of the process, because last time we did a truffle degustation, people were saying to me it took too long. Literally, like they were staying there for 3 hours when it should be only 2 hours.
Yeah.
Technically, before he used to be able to do in 2 hours. So how has everything changed? It doesn't make sense to me. So his timing has changed in serving the food, timing in time sort of feel. I know he wants to get it perfect, but he was never that way before, right? So when he did the big group, it seems like he was concentrating on how perfect it was, which you had to be, but you should know that as well, right? You've been a chef for so long, right?
Yep.
So I find that his synergy and management of time was off with the big group.
Okay.
And I feel like, no, I'm not going to go through that again. When I feel something's off with the way he used to be, because I've seen him his best, and I've stayed with him because of that. I wanted that guy back, right? Because he just opened a the new location, right? New location, and he had a fire, right? As well after he's opened. So a lot of bad things happened to him. He's suffering a lot of the things that he don't want to suffer. So I don't want a big event like that, and then he's not his best. He can't be his best. He doesn't know how to be his best. I'd rather have a small group. You got your price. I got my price. I got my numbers. You got your numbers. We're happy days. The reason why of the number is a sake. One bottle can only serve 16, evenly, right? For 16 guests. 18 would be, you have to have another bottle or something like that. So that is why actually maximum you can do for one bottle is 16 people. So I'd utilize the pricing and utilize the quantity of the serving and all that sort of thing. If I wanted another 16, I have to get another bottle. That's why I know how many samples I need for the event, right? Because most wine companies, they tend to have like 6 bottles just for that event. What a waste. And they overfill people's glasses when the idea is not to drink, it's to appreciate, right? So people did say a bit stingy because some of them only got 1 bottle, but I said, they understand because the dish is so small. Do you really need a whole glass, right? Small, whole glass. What are you doing with the drink? Are you gulping it down? Are you washing it down? It convinces and controls them to not gulp down the food with the sake, forces them to slow down and a sip instead of gulp, right? And start to focus on the experience with the food rather than I don't have enough to drink. So that's a little bit different concept, right? So maybe when he get a bit more practice, I feel like he can go bigger and he's got that cover because right now he's not the same chef he used to be. When I came back to him, I think I told you already, after not doing degustations for 1 year, I come and say, Ivan, let's time to do an event. Don't you think? Yes, Sandra, I'm waiting for you. You waiting for me? Why not call me? Right. And then when I meet him, right, I ask him, Ivan, how are you? He says, Sandra, I'm so bored. Why you never call me? You're so bored. But isn't that feels a bit upsetting to hear from your chef friend.
Yep.
A chef feeling bored. He's a business, okay, but I'm feeling bored. That he needs a challenge. He needs to be, back into his zone. So he was like very, very thankful. And I paid him after because I need to get funds from the ticket system. And he paid everything himself first. Then I said, did you enjoy the event? He said, thank you so much, Sandra. It was really, really good. Fantastic. We'll do it again. So I planned for next year for him to do degustations, but more like seasonal degustations, not just let's do an event because we feel like it. It has to be scheduled, has to be set with that idea of mine. So I don't need to feel like I have to get ready for him, wait for a menu, wait for this, wait for that, blah, 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 blah. So my goal with him is a seasonal degustation. Winter, summer, spring, autumn. That way people can get something different every season, right? Because people are asking me, after the event, Sandra, when's your next one? Are you going to do another one? I said, oh, when I feel like it. I tell them when I feel like it. Well, actually not. It's when I schedule it in. This other concept is that I'm not doing events by public anymore. It's through VIP entry anymore. Because look at the power of that. People who want to be there will be there. I don't do emails anymore. I do SMS. So I'm starting now. My phone's going to be full of VIP clients. And I've showed you how fast is the SMS conversion compared to email. But still some people want to do email, but it depends. I'd rather for an event, for ticket to buy straight away, let's just do SMS. Don't make me wait for that answer so long. You want it, you want it. I had a lot of people say, I'm waiting for a friend. I said, well, look here, I've got 2 tickets left, take it or leave it. I'll let you know, but I'm telling you there's only 2 tickets left. Again, telling them, only got a few tickets left. You want it or not, right?
Yeah.
Because it's very hot. And the guy literally did that. Instead of waiting, he said, I'm going in. And that was the guy who gave me 10 and 10, right? Yeah. He told me, he actually wanted me to wait. Oh, I'm going to wait for another friend. Maybe he's still waiting. I said, well, he said, how many tickets do you have? I've only got 10 left. I said, I better take those 6 now. Just like that.
Oh, okay.
He wanted to invite his friends and all that sort of thing. So, yeah. Just want to point out on that. And this camera's like giving me the biggest in it. What's your plan today? Anything? Or are you just relaxing?
Plans, I need to do some shopping. That's it. So I don't have any deliveries because I think the peak already ended because we're like into almost Christmas. Last month we have like I had a lot of deliveries, and I think now it's dying down because they should be stocked up for the events and stuff like that anyway. And like, so yeah, I'm planning where I need to go in Japan as well now.
Yep.
And also speaking to suppliers, my supplier at the moment, because I'm still working out the best way to get sake to Australia. Like I'm still working a way, like finding a way. Like I can't rely on Akito. I can't rely on anyone. I have to find a way, because if he doesn't, then I don't, then I lose out anyway. Because if he does and he doesn't have space, then I lose out as well.
Yeah, so exactly.
So I have to try to do my own. So yeah, so I've been planning for that, or try to work out how to do. But yeah, next month, I pretty much, like, just because of the big rush, I sold out on a few things already. So I need to get some things, like, but the plum wine, I sold out already. So I need it. So I order some for January already. So like 1 pallet of those, and then I'm bringing in some yuzu liqueurs and some other liqueurs as well, because they don't need to be refrigerated. So I can bring them in.
And you get access to beers?
beers at the moment, I can, but I think they are already in Australia.
Okay, well, see if you can, because we want to grow our Japanese crafted beers as well here. Yeah, just no, if you can, if you can't, but because my dad's that telling me bringing the beers because we're trying to replace June Pacifics because
like if you have look if you have any beer in mind, let me know. I'll ask my supplier whether it's the same as what they already have in like June Pacific or JFC or whoever has. I think it still works, but I don't know about the pricing. Like I can get the Karuizawa ones and things like that.
Mainly it's like the Kirin Ichi, but we want 500 mils. I don't want cans.
Or the tall ones.
Yeah, they sell very fast. So I'm actually June Pacific, they have Suntory, they have premium malt, they have Kirin Lager and Kirin Ichiban, 500 mils. Everybody else can get the 300 mil. We don't want the 300 mil. We want the 500 mils because they sell out quicker. But we're happy to try like, any other type of, crafted beers that are 500 mil. But maybe for a new beer, it would probably be maybe the smaller one. It doesn't matter. It's not the biggest importance, but I'm just saying growing wise. We're liquor store, if we're going to grow our, supplier, which my father tends to want to look into more, because when there's an unreliable supplier, we're going to let them go. But he still will keep June Pacific, still keep JFC and all that, because he created this relationship with them. But it's more like, how much will I order from them now?
Yeah.
So, because there's only so much we can rely on people, right? So, but the thing is, like, it'll be the toss in the fat or game price, because I'm shipping from Sydney to here, but then everybody does that in June Pacific and JFC anyways. But
if it was a pallet, it's fine.
Okay.
Like even Yi did as well. Like if it's a pallet, like for example, if it comes into Sydney and it's just one big pallet there, I don't have to do anything. Or you can just get someone to pick up the pallet. And then that will be a lot cheaper. It's only because if it's like, we're sending like 1 boxes, 2 boxes and stuff like that, that's less economical.
Of course.
Yeah. So that's why it like the price wise, like it should be fine. Plus, like it shouldn't, because I'm not going to sell the beer anyway. It would just be like purely, if this is your pallet, that's yours. Like I don't touch anything, or I don't do anything with it. So like if it just to fill up some space, it can work. But I don't know about whether we can get some like the more standard ones, like Kirins and stuff like that. But maybe because there's another person that really likes strong zeros and stuff like that down in Sydney. So he also wanted to bring in his own stuff from Japan as well. So I have yet to talk to him, but I haven't worked with him before. I don't know what he's like. So that's why I haven't offered him and say, hey, you want to like, you know what I mean? So
is he an importer as well?
No, he has a liquor store. But he like pretty much like yourself, and he goes through popular stuff like buy 10 cases and stuff like that. So, and he knows how to make things go viral or whatever he does with stuff. So if he brings them in himself, obviously it's cheaper.
Yeah, of course.
For him, right? So that's why he wants to do that. But at the moment, I've only met him like once or twice. That's it. But he buys stuff from me on Caddy. That's how we met. So that's why. But Caddy, I think, is growing quite a bit because apparently one of the customer told me is that, oh yeah, it's the only umeshu that I have. It's on Caddy. And that's why I had 10 cases at the start of October. So I would have enough. like I will still have spare.
This only will be useful for you who's an importer. It will not be useful for me because I can't guarantee stock availability.
Yes.
Yeah.
But the thing is, I think for something for you to look into as well is you could put up so you can serve wholesale as well, I think, to restaurants and stuff like that.
Yes, that's another step I was thinking in.
I think that's probably better because, for example, for me, if I can't send it to Perth, for example, because of the cost, right? If they're happy to pay for it, it's fine. But for example, if you go on Caddy, for example, and put for example, whatever product on there, you can put my sake on there, and you can kind of, if it was in Perth, then you can, the restaurant in Perth can contact you, and then you can sell it to them, type of thing. I think that's probably.
Would you be okay with that?
Yeah, I don't mind, because that's what I want to do with Yi, because I personally can't service Adelaide or something like that.
Okay.
And I think that's the best way, because I can send you a lot more items.
Yep.
And then you can put it up on your one. And obviously it will be like, the pricing will be a lot better. And if you're a wholesaler as well, I don't have to charge you the wets and stuff like that. So that's what I've done with Yi. Yeah,
the thing is, I don't know how that works in the sense of I'm a wholesaler and you don't charge me wholesaler. I don't understand that concept. What do you mean by that? Are you you're doing that with me? So you're saying what you're doing with me now, don't do that? Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, what I'm doing with you is just normal, like as a normal business to business thing.
Yeah.
But what I'm doing with Yi is different.
Yeah.
Because Yi plans to wholesale my sake or something like that.
Yeah.
So that means that I don't have to charge him wet tax.
Okay.
Because he's going to charge wet tax to his customer.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if I charge him wet tax, and for example, it costs you more to pay me, but you don't have, Yi costs Yi more money to pay me, but at the end of the day, it's like GST, right?
Yeah.
If you buy from because you're a business, right? You buy something from another business.
Yep.
You can claim that GST back, right?
Yep.
And then when you sell that thing to the customer, you charge the GST, and the government, you need to pay at the end of the month or at the end of the whatever, right? That's GST, right? So the same thing applies to the wet tax as well. So if, just say it's still GST, because you pay for, when you buy something from another business, you pay the GST, but you get credit back, yeah? So technically, when you buy something from the business, you don't have to pay the GST to the other business. So technically, it's 10% cheaper for you, right? Because at the end of the day, you get a credit back from the GST you pay, and then you have to pay the GST that you collected from your customer selling your products, right?
Yep.
Right? So then the difference is what you pay every month or every quarter or whatever through the BAS and stuff like that. But for Yi plans to sell it to another customer.
Yeah.
So meaning he's kind of like the middle person.
Yeah.
So when you sell it so me and him is kind of the start and the middle, not the start and the end.
Yeah.
Because if it was the end, because me and you, I'm the start, you're the end.
Yeah.
Right? So then you have to charge a wet, because I charge you the wet, you pay the wet. That's it.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But for Yi, he's the middle. He's not the end yet. So between Yi and the end customer, they have to sort out the wet themselves. Or something like that. So it's confusing.
I know. That's why like
Yeah,
try to make it like simple as that. But I understand where you're coming from because I had a lot of like situations on wet and GST. When is does it apply? Who applies it to me? Because if I order from you and JFC, Jun Pacific, and Akito as well, you'll be charging me wet and GST,
yeah.
right? Because I'm the end customer.
Yeah.
But let's say I'm not the end customer and I want to sell it to another business
Restaurant or yeah,
restaurant.
the business, not retail.
Yeah,
So
not
at the
retail.
moment you're retail, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
I'm
if
retail.
still restaurant customer still comes to you and say, hey, I want to buy from you. But why
Yes.
if they don't want to buy from JFC, which you get the same stuff from, right? They don't
Yeah.
want to do that, right? They want to get from you. Then if you can offer them wholesale
Mm.
price for technically if they buy one cases like bulk
Yeah.
orders, you can do wholesale, then
Yeah.
you can sell them wholesale, then that means you are a wholesaler. So if you are a wholesaler, then they don't have to charge, like I won't charge you wet, but you have to put it in writing and say that, oh, I plan to wholesale these items. But as a wholesaler, like more than 50% of your sale have to be wholesale. So for Yi, it's fine because even for me, we don't do a lot of retail sales anyway. So it shouldn't be more than 50%. But for you, like probably 99% will be retail,
Mm.
right? So you will still have to do what you're doing now. So you can't really get that discount, or
Yeah.
it's not discount, like you just don't have to pay wet. But at the end of the day, when you sell it to the restaurant, you charge the restaurant wet tax. But for now, if the restaurant come and buy from you, you
Mm.
don't, right? Because you're not going through a wholesale
Yeah.
channel or something like
Channel. Yeah.
that.
Hence,
Yeah, so
what is happening now with the bars, right? Hence, even though I could tap into that, but maybe it may be no need to, or the fact maybe it's maybe might be too messy as well. But if I
yep.
really wanted to tap into that, the idea would be now my question would be is this a choice to charge the wet to the
No,
customer?
no, it's not a choice. It's you have to.
You
The
have to, right?
the
So
wet
yeah,
is the end user.
the end
So,
user.
so
Okay.
end user as in you are the end user because you will be selling it to a customer, like as
Yep.
in a
Yep.
retail, right? If I
Yep.
sell it to Yi is not the end customer
Mm-hmm.
because
Okay.
he still have
Okay.
to sell it to a restaurant.
Yep.
So that's the difference. So that's
Yep.
why he's like, I don't charge Yi wet tax because he's going to deal with his own wet tax.
Yep.
That's the thing. And yes, it's cheaper, but at the end of the day, it's the same anyway. Because if I charge Yi wet tax, he claims a credit back for the wet tax that he pays. So
Mm.
similar to the GST thing, but it's more annoying for
Yeah, I
him.
know. Hence, I'm concerned. Like for me, not saying I'll be a wholesaler, but I'll just give them discount sort of thing.
You can still give them discounts and stuff
Yeah.
like, but
Mm.
at the end of the day, it's how much you get the thing as cost, right? Because if you get it from JFC, it's
Yeah.
already same as everyone else.
Yeah,
If the
we don't
bar
want it to
go
be the same
that's
as well. Yeah.
because the bar gets it from JFC will
Yeah.
be same price anyway. But why would the bar pay retail? Like if because it's easier or it's cheaper or something like that. Same with Coca-Cola, right? Like people sometimes just go to the supermarket and just buy the Coca-Cola for the cafe when it's on special because when they buy from Coca-Cola, it's actually more expensive. You like that sort of thing. That's why
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
would rather buy the spirits or something from Dan Murphy's. You know what I mean? Like the
Mm.
restaurant. Most of the time they just go to Dan Murphy's and just buy whatever liquor that they need. Like they don't order it from um, like Paramount or ALM or something like that. They just
Yeah.
go
Yeah.
get
Yeah. Yeah.
this and buy, right? So something like that, they don't mind paying the retail because you know that they're going to charge 3 times as much anyway, right? So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
already have their own margin. So if they're really happy to do it, but like for me, I can't be in Perth, I can't be in Adelaide and stuff like that. So that's why if you want to take up something like that, I can do that. Like for same with Yi as well. Like if you want to like distribute it in Perth for me, then I can kind of.
Well, that's another avenue that we never really, look into that opportunity.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking more of your ownership of you being that supplier, right? So hence I didn't want to open up the fact, but I was thinking, I could do this for Thomas, right? But will I be taking his credibility, his ownership of his range, and I take away his job? I was scared about that.
Not really, because otherwise we wouldn't have any like if we don't do it, then it doesn't benefit both of us, right? If we do it, we help it's pretty much just helping each other. Like I can send you some stuff, like pretty much what you're doing with Sawahime type of things, right? But you're kind of more on top of it.
Yes.
And you say, I want this, and then they order it and then they send it to you.
Yes.
Type of, right? But like instead, for example, same with what I do with Yi. I give you a catalog, you choose what you want, and then you get like a case or whatever. Like Yi got a case of different stuff, and then he will sell it himself or he will promote it in Adelaide. And you do it in Perth type of thing, because I can't be in Perth, I can't be in Adelaide. That's definitely a fact. And if you or Yi really likes the sake, that's kind of maybe the best way for.
No, I definitely look into that sort of like innovation. And actually, it's great that I talked to you about this today, because I'm in the predicament of the shop, right, where I don't want it to be like this forever, right? I do want it to prosper. I mean, I'm prospering my, business coaching and all that. That's pretty much just to feed my capabilities and my experience to endeavor into a bigger market, which is the suffering market, which is the sake business market, which ironically, everybody's connecting to me now. You just got a taste of that. My Japan contact is asking me, is there a supplier in Australia, in Sydney, right? That's how I've connected to you. And, even like I'm in Perth, what am I capable to do that? Another one, Paul from Japan as well. Sandra, do you know, that sake news company who did all the sake competition and all that? I said, yes. And they said, oh, can you get me in contact with them? So I gave a contact to Indo-san, right? Yoshi-san. So they're getting more collaboration, and it's actually making Japan want to be more active to come to Australia, right? Just getting that connection. So no, definitely the endeavor of distributing, and definitely the fact that you've already news caddy, I want a news caddy, but I've been reluctant to do so because you're already news caddy. And I was thinking that I didn't want to put your range, which I'm getting from you, to help you promote it and put it on there. I will not be putting your any of the other range. I will only be putting Akito's range in your range. Why? Because nobody has that in Perth.
Exactly. And also you can choose, like at the moment I only choose Melbourne and Sydney. That's it. So if the caddy customer is in Perth and they search something, nothing will show up. But if the person it's like location based. So technically for you or Yi or something, you can just press Perth or something. And then customer in Perth, when they search something, if they want sake or something, it will show up to them. So at the moment, I only set to show in Sydney and Melbourne. That's it, right? So only you can kind of choose what you want the customer to see. Like I can put Australian wide, and maybe there will be more people like wanted to connect or talking to me, but I can't serve all of them. Like I'm finding trouble to serve the regional. Like literally, for caddy, it's more regional. Like there's 4 or 5 shops that I met, which I sent to, right? One is in Wollongong, which is like 2 hours from Sydney,
Yeah.
1.5 hours drive from Sydney,
Yeah.
but it's still in New South Wales. And I got another bar, which is 5 hours away from Sydney, but it is still in New South Wales. And it's closer from Melbourne, like 3 hours drive from Melbourne instead. It's on the border of New South Wales and Melbourne. Like, it's like really regional places that kind of,
Well, that's
that
helpful
you get
because
connected.
that's what we want to focus on, is just the Perth area, right? Because I want to know who's going to be spending in my Perth area, which is what it's going to be leveraging, the shop, right? Because I'm actually got Sakelier, which is all of a state, but technically it'd be beneficial for us as in store to serve mostly Perth, because we don't need to worry about delivering to cost fees, right? The only concern I have is because if I do get popular, am I able to have enough stock to send it? But then again, I don't know the way of people that when they order, they don't want it straight away. They understand that sometimes it's going to be a delay, right, to receive the stock. But if it's in Perth, maybe there won't be. So that I don't. Perth, I was thinking of delivery for like Australia. Hence, I was stopping on that. But if it's just Perth, if it's in the store, I can send. But is there? I don't know. I'm scared.
Keep in mind that Caddy is business to business, so it's a wholesale thing.
Yep.
So it's better for you maybe as well
for
to
business,
connect with more restaurants.
Yes, business.
You know what I mean? It's like for connection is really good as well, I think, because at the moment you're already connecting to your retail customer and stuff like that. Like
yes.
The more, like, if you're thinking of to expand your store, it will have to be wholesale, right? Because even though if you say you're in Perth and you send Australian-wide for retail, it's still, because, for example, if someone in Sydney buy it from your store, it's still fine, because normally they wouldn't be able to buy unless they come to Perth, right? Like that thing is fine for expansion. But I think at the end of the day or in the future, if you want to expand, maybe it has to be the wholesale side of things.
Yeah,
if you know what I mean.
We have to be in that predicament now. How the store is, it's flourishing retailly, technically, but there is an issue where there is not enough income to flow to be freely to do what we want with our stock ordering and all that sort of thing. Hence, I'm getting two personal sides opinion and how to say emotional burdens from both sides, and the fact that the people who they are my parents, right? They're getting old and they're still suffering with the shop situation, even though no matter how much I do. So the thing is, I can't connect with them. I can't work with them because of their mindset. You can't control that. So unless they're on that mindset, but I have to find a way myself where I'm seeing it's aligned, that I want to do it, rather than the fact I need to do it just to make them happy, if that makes sense. So that wholesale idea of distributing, and if you don't mind me being the distributor for you in Perth, well, I'd rather to do that way. Hence,
like pretty much that's what my big plan is. Like, I'm in Sydney, that's for sure, because even if I hire more people, I still can't reach every state unless I'm like JFC or Daiwa or something, which they have different offices everywhere. So that's why for me, that's the best choice, to find someone capable in their own state, then can kind of work something out with that. Then it's also a lot easier for me as well. And then for me, I can just help you in the background.
Right? Hence I'm doing it with the Melbourne company, Strong Zero. So did I tell you about this company? No. So let me tell you a funny story about it. So he actually called me at the shop, right? And he used the right words, says, hi, I'm from Melbourne, I have like lots of sake, and he was quite polite and all that sort of thing.
I think you showed me the website.
But let me share with you of how he got how I got with him, literally. It was officially a funny way. He got me in a good mood.
Yeah.
He got me in a good mood, and he had a lovely, sweet voice, and he used the right words. He said sake list. So, and he said to me, I see that you do a lot of sake, and I do sake and, Japanese offerings. I would like to know if you got time. So he asked me, do you have time? I said to him, first he actually he didn't give me his spiel yet. He just asked me, hi, Sandra, I'd like to talk to the owner. I'm from Melbourne. My name is Russell, and I would like to look into business. And what I said to him, I said, okay, Russell. So he just said some few words about what he offers, right? So I listened to that very quickly. I said, okay, Russell, you got me in a good mood. You got 1 minute, 60 seconds. Tell me what you got, right? Convince me. So he said, oh, blah, blah, blah. He say, we're from Melbourne. We got a lot of Japanese sake. We're looking into business to look for pieces out of state, out of Melbourne, looking into Perth to bridge our business further. I said, okay. Actually, I didn't say yes to him straight away. I said, I'm interested. I know myself. When I'm interested, I'm interested. I keep him on the side. I said, look, it's just been very, very busy. You got me in a busy time, but send me your catalog. I'll get in touch with you when I'm ready. And I did. So I didn't get in touch with him straight away, but I know exactly I want to get in touch with him and try to make some business with him. But he was even more better. He was checking exactly what I'm offering already in the store. So he's try to buy me to his side. So he sent to me Strong Zero. And it was the perfect timing because we needed a new Strong Zero supplier, right? Didn't want to use Jim Pacific. And I said, okay, you got my attention. Tell me how we're going to get sorted. Then we started, he wanted to start with the fact of a few cartons and all that sort of thing. But he said to me, he wanted to go bigger. And this company is innovative. He said, we're looking into bringing a case and we're hoping that you will take this case. I said, it's easy for us. I said, how many is a pallet? He said, oh, about 40 cases, 80 cases. I said, we can do you 40 easily. Very easily 40, right? He gave a special price, and as it tend to be, they are cheaper than Jim Pacific. But I don't tell him my price. He was asking me, what's the price of the other one? I said, well, they're a little bit up and down. I don't need to tell you my price, because if I do, it reveals the fact that you will change me or overchange me. You don't know, right? So never give that benefit. No, give it the opportunity for them to cheat you. Because I don't know their supplier. He's Australian as well. So there's a lot of trust issues as well. Not saying bad thing, it's just first time type of customers, right? And you're trying to make an investment with them, right? Yes, they have the strong, but I double checked. That Strong Zero is from Japan, not the 196, right? Because it had to be the John from Japan. So it definitely wants, and he showed me the range of different flavors. And I looked at his price, but I also, because it's a big investment, and also, I have to get authority. So I asked my mom, you want Strong Zero, right? Look at this price. Happy with it? Why so cheap? The pallet. We're from Melbourne. So there's a problem with logistics as well. I don't know I can send you to him to talk, because I don't know if he can solve your logistic problems. Maybe. I don't know if you want his contact. Happy to share. He's a lovely guy, Australian guy. Right. But he's dealing with logistics situation as well, because he's from Melbourne. He's sending it to me to Sydney. What is he doing? How is he doing it with Japan and all that sort of thing? He's bringing in Strong Zero shipments, sake and whiskey. What are they doing? Might be helpful for you to solve your logistic problems. Yeah. So I'll send you his link. Get in touch with him because he's a brilliant guy. Another way you can also maybe formulate business. Maybe he will be another distributor for you. Maybe, I don't know. So you can look into that. But I think it's mainly for the logistic problem, right?
The main logistic problem is that sake needs to be refrigerated. That's all. I don't know about Strong Zeros or B and stuff like that.
No, they wouldn't do that.
Right? So that's why I think maybe their sake, they just put it all together and just bring it here. Because whiskey and stuff, you obviously don't need to put it refrigerated anyway, right?
Yes,
so
yes.
That's what makes them easier. That's why. Because even for liqueur, for me, I can just bring them in without refrigerated. But the recent shipping price and stuff like that is very expensive. Like it cost me $2,000, almost $2,000 for one pallet.
I think you need to get in touch with Brett then.
Yeah.
Super Sake. But I don't know how you're going to get connected. That's a problem. Brett and me are not that close
Yeah.
for me to give you that insight. I mean, the other guy.
But like Akito, like we spoke to Akito as well. He does a lot of different things with it to get the price down. So I understand what they do, but it's just knowing enough to instruct my supplier to do. Because at the moment, I let my supplier control everything, but Akito controls everything. So
there you go.
he controls his supply. Well, he controls not the supplier, but he controls the person bringing the stuff into Australia for him, because he works out everything for him and just give it to him and say, I got this pricing, I'll give you this much percentage, then you help me bring everything in, type of thing. But for me, it's a general supplier, which even though I talk to the brewery and stuff like that, but I don't get any pricing. The pricing goes with the supplier, right? Which is better than just asking a supplier and then they send you a list, type of thing, because I still in touch with the breweries and stuff like that. But ultimately, like, it's better the way Akito is doing, because he talks to the brewery directly, get all the pricing, and then he knows someone in Japan that does the shipping, and then he just works out the percentage for everyone, type of thing. But for me, like, I just let my supplier, or I let the person deal with them, which for me is fine now, but I don't know, in the future might change. But yeah, so that's how people doing differently, and some people just bring them in not refrigerated anyway. So, yeah, so it really just boils up to what they do to bring it here. Like, yes, it's very easy to just not put it in refrigerated container, bring it here and say, hey, I got sake. But at the end of the day, that's not really the right thing. Or if you sell enough sake already, you can bring in your own container, then you wouldn't have that problem. But like, pretty much as a person that's still quite new, I'm trying to find a way that works for me. And then of course, probably eventually, if I bring in enough, I can maybe bring in container every year or something, then I solve my problem. You know what I mean? But I know other people might have the same problem. So that's why if I know them, we'll kind of try to work it out. Because I know Akito also mentioned that a few other restaurants or bars or whatever, they want to bring in their own craft beer or something from Japan as well. And they're always asking for, like, oh, I want to bring in a few pallets. Do you want to, like, join together, type of thing? I think those type of thing works, but it's just
unreliable sometimes.
How willing you're gonna trust them. Like, at the end of the day, because if you're organizing everything, if they say, oh yeah, I want to order this much, and then at the end of the day they just run away or whatever, then it's under your name as well. So you're gonna lose out of the thing, because you help them or something like that. So that's why with the other guy, I'm just seeing whether it's good to do or not. But other than that, like, the biggest issue or the biggest barrier to kind of bring in sake to Australia, it is the logistic issues. If you don't have the logistic issues, then it's so much easier to do. Like, for example, if you're in Hong Kong or Taiwan or something where Japan is just a few hours away or whatever, you don't have that issue. But for here, you get that issue. Plus, when it comes here, there's that issue of sending it to other state, which, like, from Sydney to Perth, that's like complete, like, the other side. Quite far, with like a lot of desert in the middle or something like that, And I think sometimes people in Japan don't understand that as well. They just think that, oh yeah, I can just send something from the top of Japan to the bottom of Japan, like, quite fast, because it's actually quite good system down there. But here, it takes a lot of time.
Yep. No, it makes sense. I mean, there is a way. I believe what I've realized in my experience, like even though it's difficult, there is a way.
Yeah,
we just need to keep on fine-tuning and find out the way. And funny how you were saying about Hong Kong, but why do Hong Kong ask for me, honestly? A guy messaged through the Sakelier World website, right? And he's like saying, do you stock Dasai? And he was giving me his whole order list. And it was like a supplier list, right? 30 cases of, Dasai, 40 cases of 1.8 liter, blah, 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 right? And I'm thinking, why do you want all this sake? And I'm thinking, is there a problem with Dasai in Hong Kong? Why
are they buying from you or they're selling it to you?
Buying. They wanted to buy Dasai from me and asked me, do I stock Dasai? And I'm saying, I'm in Australia. Do people not read my website? It's Sake World Australia, sakeworld.com.au, right? Hong Kong is asking me and trying to purchase Dasai from me. I don't know why. Is it because I put Sake World? They think it's there, right? And he was sending me an order for all Dasais. And I'm thinking, you're in Hong Kong. Why is there no Dasai supplier there?
There should be, but they run out.
True, but still, I find that stupid to
I have no idea, but
it's weird.
I think it makes more sense if it was like whiskey or something, because apparently like other countries like Hong Kong or something, they will ask the country that like people still not that popular yet, and then they will ask, oh, do you have this whiskey? They will buy it and then they send it. They sell it. They on sell it anyway, like because obviously it's more hot. Like the product is more hot down in Hong Kong or whatever, and in Australia there might still be some floating around before it's completely out of stock.
Yeah, that's
like
why
they know it's going to be. They know already out of stock, but the thing is, Hong Kong already sold out, for example, but Australia might still have some.
Yeah, that's what I feel it happened.
Yeah, exactly. So they wanted to get all the ones from Australia because they know there's still a supply there, which they can sell.
But the thing is, wouldn't it be expensive from them? Because I like shipping. I don't know if the other logistics thing is because I don't only reach, Australia, although that's my biggest market, right? But other countries are asking for supply from me as well. Hence, I touched on this with you before, remember? Why would we be able to do it internationally, right? Would I go into that fact? But I'm scared of logistics gain. The logistics is going to be too expensive for me to consider to ship to them, right? Unless I find a solution for logistics internationally and also the fact of reliability, shipping, that sort of thing, then I can look into that, because I had people coming from me from Germany, USA, Philippines, right? Wow, weird countries, Thailand, and, they want to purchase from me. But that's just me in the ambitious state sort of thing, whether I want to go with that. It's just a bit too complicated when I think about it.
Still the best way is send from Japan, because you got something from Japan to Australia, and from Australia, you want to send like out to other countries. Like still, I think the most efficient way is, for example, somehow the order gets forwarded back to Japan to, I don't know, the brewery or whoever.
Then it'll be better for the Japan brewery. Then that's probably, I would see more like a opportunity for them. Hence, I don't want to go into that threshold. Anyways, all right, Thomas, again, lovely to see you. Thank you very much for sharing your interview experience to the Facebook group. I wish you luck, but again, don't be a stranger, let me know how you're going and things, and and with the events coming up, I'll let you know. I'm planning what I want for March. Definitely, I believe we're going to be doing the Sake Festival. How I'm going to do it, I haven't decided yet. The other thing is definitely going to be a restaurant event, right? In one of the seasons, you'll be a degustation. The
Is that in
other,
March as well, the restaurant event, or no?
because I was trying back in the day when we did the Sake Festival, right? They were doing all like collaborations, right? So I'm working on that same concept of
Okay, yep.
doing a collaboration for the Sake Festival. So it'll be before the Sake Festival, which is the 25th, which is in September. That's where we're selling sake. But promotion wise, we're promoting, right? Restaurant, maybe a company event, right? I am going to have a meeting with a company for future collaboration because I got into the world of CEOs and businesses. So there's two ones in Australia, WA. There's the Australian Japan Society of WA. Then there's Australian Japan Business Council.
Yeah.
The person who's coming to talk with me and interested in me to do events with for his members, it's a membership. Again, these are all about membership type of events, right? Who are already paying money to these communities, right? And the one who is interested is the Australian Japan Business Council. So if I get my hands in there to do events with these membership people, the opportunity and the potential would be so much greater and more credibility to sake and your range. So if I'm lucky, I get a company event, I get a restaurant was definitely will happen, company event, and then the shop festival to join in with your range. I was thinking of you because it's easier for you to focus on one supply. In the future, I will probably be like, Hasagawa Sakoten, not bringing breweries, but bringing supplies from different parts of Australia all together. They're all different range. And we're doing that sponsorship together. And we just say, where JFC, Jam Pacific, because they're not helping me. Thomas, I've been serving their range and they have not been helping me. The breweries have been helping me. But in JFC and JFC, I'll be focusing on their breweries to come and support. The other one who I will ask and see to collaborate with is a new beer company. I'm sure you probably see it in Sydney. It's called Yoyogi.
Yoyogi,
Yeah, I know the representative. So I'll probably incorporate her in the Sake Festival for beer distribution because I believe she will come down. But I need to make it big. If I'm not making it big enough, I can't invite other people to come in. Even if I wanted to get breweries like Sawahimi to come down in March to do his range and see the customers. But the thing is, I don't want it too complex because I do want to focus on you next year. So I don't want to include people that's going to, if I do an event for you, I not do for the event. I can't do too many events unless we combine them all together in a way where everybody's winning and we're not too clouded with too many of priority. And eventually we will get to that stage because we're talking about WA. They're still very young, right? The next thing, still in progress, waiting for confirmation from SSA. I hate waiting for people, let me tell you that. I talked to you about the sake competition for Perth, sake challenge, right? So we're in cahoots now between me and Andre. So I need to either sacrifice the course, not ownership, but more like let him do whatever he wants with it, or the fact I sacrifice the competition. Now, the reason why I would have sacrificed the competition for next year is because of Yoshi. I don't think he's doing it next year.
Oh.
It doesn't look like, do you see there was any Australian Sake Awards competition?
No, I think he would because he set up a company to do it already. So he has to do it every year,
He has to do it every year?
Well, I think it's more benefit for him to do. Otherwise, no one will come to those festivals then, because how are you going to fill up those people with like sake breweries and stuff like that if you don't offer the competition or offer the brewery to come to Australia to kind of test the markets or whatever, right?
Here's what you're thinking, right? Me too as well, right? But I don't see any news about there's going to be another sake competition. That's the thing. He sent us an email. I'm sure you received it. Really wanted to do it again, but I guess nobody showed interest. That's why he just pushed on the sake festival. for me, it was more like, I don't know what to do, what he expects happen next year. Is he going to do the same thing? Technically, when I think about it, is he going to do the same thing or not? Or I don't know. I have to talk to Yoshi-san and ask if that is true or not. But before I do, I want to see if this Perth Sake competition is reliable, because I don't want to conflict with Yoshi, to tell the truth. But it looks like he's more focused on the festival rather than the competition next year.
Because I think the festival needs more time and energy to sort out. Because
Great, right?
The competition, it's only going to be, I think, in Sydney again, and you already have all the procedures and stuff like that. Like, you're just going to copy what you did last year, right?
Yeah.
You find a venue, and then that's pretty much done. Like, you don't need to work on it, kind of, right?
Yeah.
He's trying to do Canberra, Melbourne, Brisbane, and whatever, right?
Yeah.
And then that sort of, I guess, is more priority for him. But like, from me, I thought he was going to do it every year, because you have to. Otherwise, no one will go to those festivals. They will think it's just there's nothing
important about it. Yeah, there's
exactly.
no incentive.
Like another
normal festival.
Yeah, just another normal festival with nothing. But
so this is just our assumption, right, of what I think that Yoshi. I can assume. I feel I am assuming is because there was no news about the second competition, the next one. I even read, let's do it again next year. But he's not coming back forward to me, Sandra. We're gonna do the next year, hoping you to participate. You know how rushed it was to do that competition, right? It was like really rushed. And he was just pinpointing out everyone who to invite and whatever sort of thing. But I guess because of that email, nobody responded. He thought that nobody's interested. That's why he probably is not doing it. But I'm actually still interested in that competition because I'd rather do it every year. I want to do it every year, right? I want to come to Sydney every year just to do that competition.
Yeah.
I want to see what is the sake is. Maybe I shouldn't make it. I will ask Wish again. But in the meantime, I wanted to see if I can do this Perth Sake competition.
Yeah.
And worst case scenario, we do it twice. But Yoshi would be doing with all of Australia. I'll be only doing with people that I have invited them to, where it would be your range, Akito's range, and maybe Nippon or whatever, only if they want to involve. It's not really, it's more like a mini competition, not as a big, if I can't get many people involved. And we're just targeting liquor stores and restaurants who may want your range, right? Who are interested in your range. Restaurants and liquor stores, people in the sake hierarchy. That's where I will probably be doing this competition, because the one in the Luxembourg competition, the crowd was not too much. It was maybe about 20 or 30 only, judges. So if that's the case, I can easily do that. Why not, right? I've got students all around Australia, and also it's also to the fact of inviting all my students from Australia, right, to come and test their skills of what they've learned. Are they able to apply it to what they've learned? Yeah. But then it comes to the other conflict, that stupid sake sommelier course. I can't even do it without Andre. It's annoying. Anyways, that's just my spiel. But what else could it be looking forward to? Mainly those are the events for you. I'm thinking about for you. I don't expect you to come to me like 3 times a year or something like that. Not yet. But I tend to go through your range, reorder your range every month or every 2 months, depending on performance, of course. But as you can see, they perform very well, but we're still in testing mode of how well it receives. Events, I will always expect your sponsorship to do more promotion for with different, venues, because that will showcase your range again in Australia and Perth. That's if I'm going to the avenue, if I ever go into the avenue of wholesaling through Caddy to business and restaurants, this is where this would be better and everything will align together. Okay, great. It's exciting.
See what we can do next year. Definitely. A
lot of exciting things. We've got a lot of things to obey, but this month for me, rest, recap, refocus, and map up. right? Because I'm not working. I don't want to work. I just probably want to concentrate on sales for Christmas for the shop.
Yep.
Come for that and make my parents happy, get some money into the business, so forth, so be it. All right. All right, Thomas, have a great day and take care, okay?
Yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Thank you.
Yes. Bye.